Hello, guys. How's it going? This is Circolato of Architecture Talk Tank. Today, my guest is Marina Sciarrino, and she is a business coach, business mentor, working from Italy, basically. And she's on a great mission. We will talk a little bit about her background and her work, but also talking about the importance of having a mission in the first place. So, Marina, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm in the first place, I'm a former architect. So I've been like choosing architecture, studying as an architect, working for other architecture firms, and then owning my own. And there was a pivotal moment in my life where I lived from architecture into product design, and that's when I discovered marketing. and then I moved into innovation and marketing. So I co-founded a startup about influencer marketing, and from that place, I I grew my new skills into this marketing field. And some years ago, I decided to make the match with between my first life as an architect and the second life as a marketer. And now I'm coaching architects, designers, and creators in order to help them get clients online and help them also with their mindset using coaching techniques.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. What is the importance of getting clients online?
Well, as you know, and I know you do, um, architecture is thought to be a traditional job and profession, and some architects still think that the way they can get clients is the old way, like it's word of mouth, etc. But market has been evolving, and it has been evolving even faster in the last years. And today, everyone is online, offline, online, offline. So your clients don't live in the offline world or in the online world only, and you need to find them and to be visible whenever they are. And so that's why using the online space to get in front of your potential clients, it's really a huge opportunity that needs to be used.
Mm-hmm. And what are the sort of number one techniques that you would advertise or advise for architects to use to think about?
So the first thing I would say is define your niche.
Mm-hmm.
So decide which is your ideal client, the ideal type of projects you want, and really owning who you are as an architect. What are your unique skills, and focus more on that. And based on that, uh, draw what is the full process to help this client understand you are the one that can help them in their need, in your need. And well, you know how important it is to give value online. So having a useful lead magnet, even more than one, and being able to provide value and information and education into your emails and into your content, in order to create that trust and familiarity with yourself, with your potential clients.
So basically, email marketing and communication strategies online.
Yes, absolutely. These are
Yeah.
really, really.
Defining who you are and for people to understand better what you stand for.
Yes. And that's not so easy for some of the architects I have been in touch and I've been helping, because many of them, they say, I can help everyone. Yeah, I know. I know you can, but that's not just believable, in the sense that you are not, um, you're not helping the potential client to understand that you are the right one for this specific job. And
Yeah.
so it's simply, okay, I will speak to less people, but I will be more impactful on what I say to them.
Yeah, sure. And tell us a little bit about, since we're talking about communication and the way we introduce ourselves to our clients, about that importance of a mission.
Yes, so the mission is, I think it's something which is really important for having the energy to go through also through your marketing. So when you define what you really want to achieve as an architect and what is the kind of impact you want to have on the society, can be a small impact or a big one. It gives you so much more energy, even when you are like doubting yourself or when you are not finding the client you want yet, because you know that you are doing what you are doing for a very specific reason. And so this is why I use to remember the power of a mission to myself when I am like marketing or doing things for myself, why I'm doing this, why it is important for me to help other architects, other designers, other creators to be able to reach their clients. What is the change I think that will provide into the society, having this kind of professionals which you are helping to be able to have this impact through their work on the society. And this is what I think each one needs to seek for. So why I'm doing this, why it is so important. It's not so much about I want money or I want just clients or I want to be on the paper, but it's behind this, what are the values I have, what I can change into the world. And this is a way to stay on track and not just to have this like up and down that marketing sometimes provides. It's a way to stay grounded in what you want to achieve.
So, how would you advise people to where to start to define their mission?
So the first thing I would say is, so it depends if you are like a young architect or a more experienced one. But the idea is if you go and look back on what you have been like designing and thinking of, what is the main logic which is behind, because not everyone pays attention to the same thing. So well, we have a multidisciplinary education, and we are able to go through different things and different criteria when we are doing like projects, but everyone is really sensible on some parts of the architecture. For someone is the social impact. So for others is the quality of space and the wellness. For some others is knowing that you can have a lower negative impact on the environment. So it really, everyone has really a small difference. And if you start, so the first thing is, let's go back and see what I have done until now. And even before I was an architect, even before I was a designer, what was something that was really meaningful for me? Because for some architects, like you may have one architect for whom what is really important is about the relationship between people, even if he forgets that along the road. So it start learning about architecture, he's doing projects, we are building things, but everything was the starting point was about the relationship. So if you take that back into your practice and you say, oh, this is why I am trying to bring this quality into the space, because in the end I want people to have this kind of relationship, like an inclusive relationship with people or whatever. It gives you more power to say, okay, this is why I am on this road. So first of all is the past, for sure. And the second step will be also looking at others, architects, not to copy, but to feel the difference. What's in there that you don't resonate with? What's in there that you resonate with? Because sometimes it's very subtle. And the third recommendation I will give is having this self-talking about experiences in your life and finding what your values are, and choosing which is the primary one, which is the secondary one, and that really also helps at working on your values.
So would you give us like an example so that all of this can be somehow applied to a real life scenario? Maybe someone from your clients or...
Yes, so let me think of something which can be more relatable. So I have one client, which is an architect, and he is working with private clients and also with builders. And the idea is, well, I'm doing whatever job comes to me in the first hand when we met. And along the road, we started exploring what were his values around the space, and so he has been peeling off and taking off things which are not pertinent to his own practice, which means like he doesn't believe in the iconic design. He is more about finding very specific and unique design, and choosing also the design inside the space in a way which is very specific to him, which was something that he had lost along the road, that he was not fully embracing, and he is more aware of the minimalism of his space, and how he believes that having clean spaces helps having a more clear mind, and which was something that he didn't showed up as much. And when we worked on his why, well, you have two kind of whys, because you have the why which is for the others, so for the clients, what you want to provide them, and you have the why for yourself. And so he has been really listing down what was meaningful for him, for his family, for his wife, for what he wanted to be as an architect. And he has been listing what he really wanted his client to feel and experience when they were in touch with him and getting his services, and being in the space he has built. And that was a shifting moment, because he has been like, well, if you think about the lead magnet, he was like, I don't know what lead magnet, because I can help everyone. I don't know what I could say. And once he has had his click about his why and the why for his clients, he has been more able to define what he wanted to provide as free value. So it is not only about marketing, but it helps your marketing.
See, I understand. It's really interesting. I think it's really important to find that balance between understanding your internal mission and external mission, and actually somehow like, yeah, balancing them. Because um the coming to like the full truth of why we're doing what we're doing can give you a lot of clarity, and understanding your own values can help with understanding how to better help other people. And sometimes, we I think that we're influenced by certain beliefs, like, or sometimes it can be fear, or sometimes it can be a desire to succeed, so much so that we will be doing things that are somehow against our own private values. So, if you want to make money because you need to provide for a family, sometimes you might use methods that don't fully agree with who you are. And then comes this kind of point of burnout, or like an inner conflict, which can be shown also in your business. So, in this whole idea that you're sharing about basically defining your mission, there is this aspect of what is your internal mission, why you're doing it, for yourself and for your family, and the more private things that drive you forward in your business, and then how all of this translates into your customer.
Yes, that's exactly that. And finding the balance can sometimes be challenging for people when there is something which is not aligned, as you say, um, because you then go and seek for the client you think would be the one giving you more money, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not the client you would serve with the most intention and with the best project, because somehow it's not really the client you want. You just believe it can be the one that will solve your problem. And so it's really about uh, yes, embracing also who you really want to serve,
Mm-hmm.
which is for coaches becomes it's on the path for coaching. It's something you ask yourself really with intention.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are an architect, a designer, an engineer, uh, that's not something that like university or school of architecture ask you. Who do you want to serve? They just teach you that you could serve like basically everyone. You have the skills to learn how to help everyone, but that's a different thing that choosing where you want to look at.
Yeah. And I have a question. Basically, if someone, for example, owns a business and might struggle with this balance, of course, some things are more pressing for that person than others. So we might understand that it might be important to define your values, for example. But in the same time, you have this physical pressing issue of, for example, having to provide for family and earn enough income per month. And in architecture, I think one of the main problems with generally profitability or income related financial stuff is to actually have a constant flow of projects and a constant flow of equal pay, right? Or similar pay. Um, so how do you find, or how do you advise, or how do you help architects basically find a balance within this work between defining something that is quite abstract to start with, like, for example, your mission, your vision, your why, and finding a physical balance of like making an income and essentially like putting yourself out there for sales as well?
Yes, so that's a good question. What I usually say, and the statement is, it's not because you choose to be on the path to get clear about yourself and choosing your why and setting your direction that you're just closing doors to everything else. So it means it's not a white and black moment. It's just adjusting your road, which means that once you have find what is your alignment, you can start to taking action on your market and communication to get to that point. But in this process, you can stay open to everything else. And an example I give is it's something which was told to me by another coach about branding, and it is about, like, imagine a website which says it's for real estate, and you can just find houses which are sold by private people without having an agency, a real estate agency. So that's the statement of a website. But this is the communication side, the marketing side. On the other side, you may also find houses which are owned and which are offered through real estate agents. But you have set your direction, and for this kind of client, it's more clear. But whatever it is, you can get also clients which are not aligned, and you can choose if you want to say yes or no to them. So it's really about, okay, so if I now, starting from now, I am speaking about hospitality architecture. And that's what I want to achieve. That's where I want to go. These are the kind of clients I want, the kind of projects I want. But that doesn't mean that meanwhile, my doors are open also to work for another kind of project. But I need to have a clear understanding that I am choosing to say yes or no to that client. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And in respect of, for example, when you say the example of hospitality architecture, what happens if an architect wants to build different type of projects, not just go into one hospitality, but also do residential and maybe a public building like a library, or essentially want to diversify more rather than going into one topic like only residential or only hospitality?
Yes. So, and that's the case for of many architects because many architects, they don't really like to close the doors to different type of architecture. So in this case, you can, like, it's like let's imagine we're talking about website, but it's not about the website itself, because that's not the meaningful part in itself. But let's say that you have all these windows. So one is hospitality, one is private housing, one is commercial, etc. And this is your home, which you are presenting with all these windows which are open. You let everyone know that these are your types of projects you are open to. But based on your communication marketing, you may put more emphasis or more budget or more time or more connection building or whatever on one of them, based on the situation and the moment you are in. Because you have also a different way. The strategy changes also with the size of the architecture firm. Because if in the practice you are alone, it's not the same as if you have 3 people, the same as if you have 10 people. You just need to adjust your strategy in order to be able, with the time you have, with energy you have, with also the resources you have, to set yourself in the category you want to be. So it's much more easier when you have a practice with like 10 people to have all these windows open, because you can separate the flow of intention about the different projects. It's less easy when you are alone, which doesn't mean you can't, but you will, when you set your intentions, it's where the results come. So if all your intentions are open to all the windows, maybe you will get once in a type, once in another type, and once, but nothing is really flowing so easily as much as if you say, okay, I'm open to everyone, but now I'm just going to this side, and then I'm going to the other side.
Yeah, I understand. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Marina, for joining me today and sharing all this incredible wisdom. It's really lovely to hear what you achieved in your life and the great work you're doing for architects, but also some advice about constructing your mission and understanding your why and coming to balance with your inner reasons why you're doing the business and building your business and the outer reasons as to how to serve your clients, as well as understanding some of the things that we mentioned that were are perhaps the number one confusions on this pathway when architects start, which is sort of finding the balance between defining your visions and doing the soft skill work around your business versus actually making money and landing clients. So it was all a great advice. Guys, for all of you who are tuning in, either right now in the present moment or in the future that will be watching this video on demand, if you want to see more of this type of content, go to Sarah Colata YouTube channel. And there is a lot of architecture talk tanks that are happening throughout the whole year up till now. So we're already in December, the year is being wrapped up, and this is already season 2. And I have a lot of incredible guests aligned as well. So please go to YouTube and subscribe. And every single time when we are doing a new broadcast live, you will be notified via email that we're live and you can join us there. Again, Marina, thank you so much for joining. If people want to find you online, where should they go?
So thanks for having me, Sarah. And if people want to find me, they can go on coachingarchitects.com, or they can seek for Marina Sciarrino on LinkedIn, on Facebook. That's where I am usually there. And they can also just connect and we can start from there to understand where I can help them. But if you go on the coachingarchitects.com, you will find also a free guide about the steps we have been talking about on the marketing side. And that's where you can mainly connect with me.
Excellent, guys. So you can actually download the guides and have all of this, like a summary of this conversation for yourself. So welcome, guys, to do that. Coachingarchitects.com. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks, Marina, again.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.